Hello students, this is Mr. Wilsey, and in this video we're going to be looking at the objective on the distance and midpoint formulas. Okay, so let's look at the first question here. What is the distance between the 2 points shown at the right? Do we have a graph over here? We're not given the ordered pairs of these 2 points, but we can easily identify them. Let's see, the ordered pair of this point is -5, 3. The ordered pair of this point is 3, -1. So we want to know what the distance between those 2 points are. Now, what was going through my head when I wrote this test is that I give you the graph of the 2 points, but I don't yet give you the distance and midpoint formula. That's on the next page. So what I was hoping that you would do is demonstrate to me that you know intuitively how to find the distance between 2 points from a graph. And the way to do that in this case is to recognize that we have a right triangle here, right? Here's the length of one side, here's the length of another side, and this is a right triangle. So all we need to do is identify the lengths of these sides. In this case, this is 4. Length of that side is 4. The length of this side is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. And then all we need to do is use the Pythagorean Theorem. A squared plus b squared equals c squared, where this is c. Okay? So if we call A 4, so if we call 4a and we call 8b, 4 squared plus 8 squared equals c squared. Let's see, 4 squared plus 8 squared is going to be 16 plus 64, which is 80. So 80 equals c squared. That must mean that c is equal to the square root of 80, which is 8.94, roughly. Okay, so the distance between these 2 points is about 8.94 units. Now, let's try to identify the midpoint of the line segment connecting the 2 points. Again, I haven't given you the formula yet for finding the midpoint. What I was hoping that you would do is that you could identify what the midpoint is visually, right? So midway between these 2 points is right about here. Yes? That point right there cuts the line segment in half. And the ordered pair of that point is -1, 1. See, that was not too bad at all. -1, 1 is the midpoint. Okay, now let's move on to the next page. Here I do not give you a graph. What I give you, though, is the formulas for finding distance and midpoint. Now, because I give you the formulas, and these are the exact same formulas that are going to appear on the EOC, what I want you to do is to use these formulas with these ordered pairs. So, for example, in number 13, lost control of my pen, we're asked to find the distance between these 2 points. So let's first of all identify x1 and y1, x2 and y2, right? Those are the coordinates. And then just stick them into the formula. So distance equals the square root of x2 minus x1. So 4 minus a -1 squared plus y2 minus y1, -9 minus 3. That whole thing squared. Okay? So we plugged in. Now let's simplify. 4 minus a -1 is +5. We're still squaring that. Plus -9 minus 3 is -12 squared. I put this in parentheses because I know that when I square a negative, I'm going to get a positive, right? So 5 squared, of course, is 25, plus negative 12 squared is 144, positive. 144 plus 25 is 169. So the distance between the 2 points is the square root of 169, which is 13. Okay? So the distance between these 2 points is 13 units. That wasn't too bad. The key here, of course, is to be very, very careful about your negative signs, and also make sure that these two numbers here are always going to be positive, because you're always going to be squaring a number. It doesn't matter if it's positive or negative. When you square them, you'll get positive. Okay? So that's the key there. Now let's find the midpoint of the line segment connecting these 2 points. I have the midpoint formula up here. So the x-coordinate of the midpoint is going to be x1 plus x2 divided by 2. Okay, and these are the same 2 points here. We'll call this x1, y1 again, x2, y2. So the x-coordinate is going to be the average of the 2 x-coordinates of the points that we're given. X1 is -1, plus x2 is 4 divided by 2. So this is going to be 3 divided by 2, which is 1.5. And then the y-coordinate of the midpoint is right here. y1 plus y2 divided by 2. Or in other words, the average of those 2 points. The average of those 2 y-coordinates. Okay, so y1 is 3, y2 is -9, so plus a -9 divided by 2. 3 plus a -9 is the same thing as 3 minus 9, of course. 3 minus 9 is -6. When we divide by 2, that makes that into a -3. Okay, so if the x-coordinate of the midpoint is 1.5 and the y-coordinate is -3, written as an ordered pair, the midpoint is 1.5, -3. Okay, so that is it for this objective.